When I first heard this stat, it just blew me back in my seat. That today, the average churchgoer gives less percentage of their income than the average churchgoer did during the Great Depression. During the Great Depression, the average Americans donated 3.3% of their income. Today, it's 2.5%. And it gets even worse. Only 5% of Christians tithe. That is, they give 10% of their income. And the majority of those who give anything to the church, 80% of those who give anything to the church, give about 2% of their income. Now, giving is a lordship issue. I want to show you one passage where really it shows the lordship issue of giving. It's from Luke chapter 6. Verse 38 is a wonderful verse. It's like this beautiful expression. It's kind of poetic. It comes from Jesus himself. Give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. You know what that reminds me of? An all-you-can-eat buffet. Like we go with a plate and we just heap it on and we squish it in and we stack it up. We press it down and then it overflows in our lap. Isn't that the way you want to receive? Then that should be the way we give. But just around that verse is a beautiful verse. But I want to show you the context of that verse because this is telling. The verse right before it says, "Judge not, and you will not be judged. Condemn not, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven." I thought to myself, what in the world does judging have to do with giving? When you judge another person, it's because you are comparing them to yourself. When you don't give, it's often because you are comparing what you have with what others have. Instead of looking up, you look around, and that is a problem. The solution is verse 39. Jesus also told in this parable, "Can a blind man lead a blind man? Will they both not fall into a pit? A disciple is not above his teacher, but everyone, when he is fully trained, will be like his teacher." In other words, you look up instead of look around. Don't look at the other students. Don't look on their paper, see what they're writing. Look on the board to see what the teacher is writing. And Jesus is telling us, look at me, not at them. He then goes on, very next verse, verse 42. "Judge not. Why do you look at the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Brother, let me take that speck out of your eye,' when you yourself do not see the log that is in your own eye? You hypocrite. First take the log out of your own eye, and then you'll see clearly to take out the speck that is in your brother's eye." When I looked at this from the perspective of giving, it kind of took my breath away, just like that quote of those who gave during the Great Depression. And I think the reason they gave more during the Great Depression is because they were looking at Jesus as a model and around them as a need, rather than looking at Jesus to get their needs met and looking around them for what other people have. Comparison with other people will destroy your ability not only in relationship to start judging others, but the very people you start to judge, then you try to keep up with financially. The solution to all giving is the lordship of Jesus. When you look at him, how he's provided for you, how he's led you, how he's loved you, it's then that you can look at others and see their needs rather than their faults. And when we look at others' needs rather than their faults, we're much more likely to be generous with what our teacher above us has provided for us. And that is something worth talking about.